Happy Friday. Tonight it's a panda party. I'm going to be working on that block, all the blocks. I've got 20 panda blocks for the Pandas in Sweaters quilt that I am putting together. This is following the Pandas in Sweaters pattern by Elizabeth Hartman. And if you are curious about this pattern, you can pick it up. It's linked in the description box down below the video. So all you got to do is click that little thing that says read more, and there is a pattern link there for you. Just a word of warning, it is an affiliate link, so I will get a small commission if you do use that link to buy anything from Fat Quarter Shop, so thank you in advance. Tonight, I have most of my panda blocks pieced, and I'm in the final stages of putting the panda blocks together, and then once that's done, it's just assembling the quilt top. So I've been, let me take a step back. I've been a little under the weather this week, so the video that I was going to upload on Wednesday didn't get uploaded because it's still in editing, but it should be coming out probably Sunday or Monday of this week. So coming soon to a YouTube channel named So Becca near you. And then the other thing is I was editing some videos and cleaning up some stuff in YouTube Studio, and the live stream from last week accidentally got deleted. So this week's been a fun week for me. Anyway, I haven't had a chance to record my monthly recap, and I'm going to talk about all this when I record and post my January recap, which will happen sometime next week. One of the things that I want to do this year is set a goal for myself each month to help me make sure that I am whittling through my projects and getting them done. I've heard lots of people talking about, I'm not starting anything till I finish everything. And I've heard some people say for every 2 I finish, I'll start 1. Lots of different ways you can go about this. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to stop starting things, but what I do want to do this year is focus on anything that is a work in progress, anything that was a work in progress or a UFO on December 31st, 2023, I want it done by December 31st, 2024, and that does include the quilt tops that are hanging on my quilt ladder waiting to be quilted. So I made some progress on those things, but my goal for February is to get the panda quilt completely pieced. And I want that done before QuiltCon because I plan to send it back with Tiffany when she leaves here early March so that she can quilt it for my friend Mary. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. I'm going to be working on the pandas. All of the tedious little piecing is done. I'm in the home stretch, which should be super satisfying for you because you're going to see the blocks getting built. You're going to see the pandas coming together instead of me snowballing little tiny eyeballs. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And I see the chat's going a little crazy with this, so I'll just go ahead and address this now and then we'll be all done with it. Yes, my birthday is Sunday. Thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I appreciate them. It is not a birthday that ends in 5 or 0, so it's just another birthday. Tomorrow we are going out for dinner, my mom, my daughter, my husband, and I gotta tell you, my favorite thing to do when we go out to eat is to go to a place called Captain Pell's in Fairfax, Virginia. I love to go get crabs. I love crabs. Love them, love them, love them. And this is kind of like my favorite place to go, but it can be a little pricey. And my daughter, God love her, does not like going there because it has a very fishy odor because it's a seafood place. So we usually, when we go to Captain Pell's, my husband and I go and we just enjoy each other's company. And sometimes we'll go and we'll take friends with us. well, this year for my birthday, I asked, we were talking about where to go for dinner tomorrow, and I said, well, I don't really care where we go. I just want Zoe and my mom and you, my husband. I just want a dinner with the four of us. I don't care where it is. It could be at McDonald's for all I care. I just want time with my family. So he was like, all right. And I said, why don't you do this? Zoe's the picky eater of the group of us. And I know she doesn't like doing certain things. And she's more picky than all of us put together. So why don't you just let her pick, since I don't care where we go? And we asked her 3 times, and she chose Captain Pell's because, quote unquote, it's my birthday. Yeah, I know. My mom's sitting there goes, what? She chose Captain Pell's. So my daughter said, you'll love this one, Mom. She said for my birthday, her gift to me is her sitting through the smell. That's my daughter. So anyway, that's what I am doing this weekend, but I'm not the only one celebrating a birthday. I know several of you out there are my birthday twins or share a birthday around this time of the year. In fact, our very own Sean from The Guy Who Sews, his birthday is today. So if you see him in the chat, make sure to wish him a happy birthday. And if you don't see him here tonight, even if you do, maybe hop over to his channel tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. He'll be doing Brekkie with Sean over there. I believe he's still doing it tomorrow. And you can wish him a happy birthday or a belated birthday tomorrow. I'll speak for Sean and myself. We'll celebrate all weekend long. It don't matter. All right. So I'm going to get into my project. Mom, you leaving me?
I'm leaving because I'm making a mess out of this trash.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Oh, wait till you see.
All right. Mom is working on, do you want to hand them here so I can show them? Because they're going to ask.
No,
okay.
They're bad.
Hand me the block.
Oh, this, yes. Oh, please.
Mom is working on putting together, oh, why is the overhead not working? Hold on 1 second. I see it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. It's weird. Oh, I did unplug the cameras and moved around the power cords, and I forgot to put it. Yep, that would do it. That would do it. All right, let's just zoom you in. No, it's fine. I'll take care of it. Mom is putting together these blocks. She's making some pinwheels that are going to finish around 9 inches. She had some scrap fabric left over from my Lello Boutique. Gosh, what line was this? Country Rose. It was leftover Country Rose fabric that she swiped for herself. And she's been really having a hard time kind of feeling motivated working on everything. In fact, every time I see her, this is her face.
Yeah.
Turn that frown upside down, lady. Anyway, we've been trying to get her inspired, and this is one of the ways that we did it. We just gave her an easy sew. Goodbye.
I'm leaving.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Oh.
Careful.
Knees.
Mothers. All right, so
I resemble that.
you sure do resemble that. Yes, you do. All right, so I'm just going to get into it, and I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat as we go. And I realize I'm probably rubbing the microphone with my neck. Sorry, I need to fix this because that's not going to be comfortable for me tonight. And this is where, there, that should be better. There we go. It'll be out of my way. Okay, so this is the fun part because I have done all of this work off camera, most of it. You get to just start seeing them come together, and you get to admire the sweaters that are being built onto the pandas. I'm going to tell you the piecing on this is not perfect. There are definitely imperfections in this, but we're going to just take it and go with it. This is a quilt that is going to go to a friend that isn't going to mind if there are imperfections. We are not going for Quilt Show perfection. We are just going for a quilt that can be used because it's going to be on her bed. She's going to love it no matter what it looks like. So we're just going to roll with the punches. Joanna says, that's a beautiful block. I agree. Thank you, Georgie. All right. Pandas, pandas, pandas. Oh my goodness. Yes. Lots of pandas. I'm going to I'm reconsidering how to put these pandas together. So the thumbnail of the video shows what the pattern looks like. It shows you the thumbnail from the pattern. And basically the way the pattern writer, Elizabeth Hartman, has designed the quilt is the pandas all go together in a grid, either a 2x2 or a 3x3 or whatever you're going to do. Well, there are 20 of these pandas, but I think we have determined that they need to be sized down. I talked with Mary and my VIP folks about this last week on our Zoom, and I'll just reiterate for you guys because I thought it was kind of funny. So Mary gave me these fabrics. Look at how cute this is. Just look at this. This is just absolutely adorable. I love that fabric. So when Sean challenged me to do the Elizabeth Hartman pattern, I was a bit nervous because there was a lot of cutting involved, and I didn't know how I felt about doing that amount of cutting. So Mary said, well, I'll do the cutting for you. And I said, well, okay, fine. If you're going to do the cutting, then I'll make the quilt and you can have it. So you got to pick out all your fabrics, but because you're doing the cutting, I'll let you pick from my stash. And so she looked over my shelves and decided that she was going to bring her own solids. So she went and bought some art gallery solids for this, and she was going to use, she was going to pull fabric from this beautiful 20-piece fat quarter bundle of beautiful batiks from Robert Kaufman, and those were going to be the sweaters. Well, it was a 20-piece fat quarter bundle, and I thought for sure that she was going to pick 9 pieces to make the 3x3 grid, except that's not what happened. She said, I couldn't decide which ones were my favorite. So we're just going to have 20 pandas because there are 20 fat quarters. How many of you can relate? I couldn't decide which one was my favorite, so I'm just going to take them all. I know I've done that. So I was like, all right, that's not a problem. I don't have a problem putting 20 together. It's going to be a little time consuming. It's definitely going to take me longer than I originally thought. But I'm worried about the size that this quilt is going to be when it's all done. Because the quilt itself, I think, was going to be like 80 something by 80. I don't know. I don't remember the original measurements for the quilt, but I will tell you that the blocks finish at 18 inches by 20 inches. So they're not square, which means the more rows I add, the longer the quilt gets, and that exaggeration between length and width is going to be amplified the number of rows and columns I add. So I started doing the math. And I was like, well, I don't know that 20 is going to work. If I put 4 across and 5 rows down, in fact, I did the math and I will read it out for you because I had to talk to her about it and see what she wanted to do. If I do 4 across and 5 down, where is the pattern? I thought I had the pattern. Goodness, it should have been in this tub with all my other panda stuff. I guess not. Anyway, it was going to be like 86 by like 112, I think is what it was, for 4 across, 5 down with the sashing and borders. And then I was like, okay, well, what if I do 5 across and 4 down? And then it was going to be like 90 something across and like 102 down. No, it was going to be 102 wide by 90 something down. So it was going to be wider than it was longer. And I wasn't sure she would like that either. So we thought, well, what if instead of doing all 20, what if we pick 16? So we make this a 4x4. We pick the 16 pandas that have the most contrast on their sweaters, and we use those for the quilt. And then if you still want it to be big enough to have that drape on the bed, let's measure the current bedspread that we have on the bed, and we'll make the quilt that big by modifying the borders and the sashing. Look how cute he is. And so she did, and that's what we're going to do. We went through all 20 blocks. There are 4 in here that I'm still going to make. Their sweaters do not have as much contrast between the sweater fabric and the black fabric. It's really, really dark. It's really kind of hard to see that contrast. So those 4 are going to be the ones that we'll put somewhere else if they even make it into anything else. But I'm going to make them. So we're going to do them all tonight. I am going to bring this over here so I can just drape these across as they're done. They're huge. So that was the story of the 20 pandas are now 16, but it's still a lot of pandas. But I will say the one thing about this is they are going a lot quicker than I thought they would be. In the beginning, it's a little time consuming, especially the cutting, but every step along the way, it gets a little bit faster and a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And then before you know it, everything's kind of put together. The way I've chosen to do the pandas and sweaters is rather than building out one block at a time from start to finish, I'm assembly line doing it. So when it's time to build out the nose, I'm building out the nose 20 times. When it's time to add the legs on, I'm doing that 20 times. It makes it feel a little, you feel like you're getting more done, but you don't have any real gratification at seeing a full panda done until you're at this stage, basically. But at this stage, it's going super fast. You're like, oh my gosh, the pandas are done in just like 3 scenes. So that is what I am doing right now. Trying to get all the fabric lined up. So as I started to say, I don't think I finished the thought, the pattern designer has the quilt laid out so that the pandas are in a grid pattern. And what I'm finding, and I don't know if it's because my piecing or because of the cutting or what have you, I will say I did not stop and square every step of the way like maybe I should have, but I am piecing with my 1/4 inch, which is pretty dang spot on. So there's that. The pieces are not coming out exactly straight, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute, because this is a learning lesson, and this is how I'm going to handle it. Let me show you, because this one has that as an example. If you look across the top up here, do you see how this fabric is a little bit shorter than this? This probably could be made up in the seam allowance, but also none of these points are really going to match. You're not going to nest these up to anything. If I come down and trim across here, all that's going to happen is the ear is going to look a little bit more rounded, or the same thing would happen with the feet. They'll just look a little bit more rounded. It's going to be okay. So once all of my pandas are done, I'm going to take time to make sure all the sides are straight, and then I'm going to put them into a different layout, because I don't think that my pandas are going to all be the exact same size. I think some of them are going to be about a 1/2 inch smaller. Some of them might be a 1/4 inch smaller, and I don't want to lob all of that off. So I think I'm going to put some motion in there. So instead of having straight columns and rows, what I'm looking at doing is maybe staggering how they're in there. And the reason why is, think about this for a minute. If I have 9 pandas and I put them in a 3x3 layout, if one is smaller than the other, and there's a very narrow sashing between the two, you're going to see if they're off, right? One's going to be up a little bit higher or down a little bit higher. And I'm afraid that that would take away from the cleanness of the quilt. So I can control that by just staggering the rows. So row 1 could be just like it normally is, but row 2, maybe I just put like column 2. Maybe I put like a little bit of background above the block before I sew it in, so that the even columns start at one piece and the odd ones start at the other. Oh, my eye itches. So, but there are no quilt police in this world. The reason why I told you all that is not because I'm trying to show my imperfections and I'm not trying to make you feel like I'm doing better than anybody else. I want you to know that my stuff isn't perfect either. I had a lovely chat with Kim from Cotton Cuts today. I don't know if you guys saw the little interview that I did with Cotton Cuts over on their social media. If you haven't, I would highly encourage you to go check it out. So Kim and I chatted for a little while, and one of the things that we were talking about is when we first started sewing, how we would go on social media and we watch people put quilts together, and you would just see perfect quilts being made. To me, that's intimidating, because I certainly was not doing anything perfect when I started. And I still don't do things that are perfect. I know there are a lot of folks on social media that will point out their flaws. And sometimes I think they're doing that because they're being hard on themselves. But sometimes I think they're also doing that because they're trying to help you understand that theirs isn't perfect. Because a lot of times you'll see those quilts, and because they're only photos of them, they're only glimpses of them, you don't see the mistakes and the imperfections in them, or the number of takes that it took for them to get that block just perfectly right. No, Joanna, there is not an angry panda, but that's a throwback to a live stream that I did a month or so ago. I've been working on these pandas for a minute. Wow, I ran out of thread. Look at that, air sewed right there. I've been working on these pandas for a minute, and one of the live streams, it was when I was working on the eyes. I had put the eyes in upside down, so instead of going like this, they were going like this, and it looked like it was an angry panda. So that's what everybody's referring to. Katie Kraft says, I like seeing people make mistakes and fix them. It makes it real. Hey, listen, I'm all about making the mistake and fixing it. I won't always leave all of the footage of me stumbling with it in a video, but I will at least point out that I had a boo-boo and what I did to fix it from a standpoint of this is how I recovered, not from a standpoint of I'm better than anybody or yours needs to be perfect or anything like that. So, hello, Brenda. Mine isn't perfect, but mine isn't bad either. That's right, Deb. She said my piecing isn't perfect, but it's not bad either. I feel like I can claim intermediate. I don't know that I'll ever claim advanced, but I feel like I can claim intermediate. Could you make an angry panda pillow to go with the quilt? I could, except all of the pandas are already done. And honestly, if you've met Mary in person, an angry panda does not fit her personality. The woman ends every sentence with an exclamation point, and she's always got a smile on her face. She's always happy. So I don't feel like an angry panda would fit her. Now, me, it would have to be all angry pandas. Because I feel like sometimes I can be a grump. But she's always positive. She's always a little ray of sunshine. So I feel like for her, it doesn't really fit. So last week, if you were here, somebody had mentioned something about the needle threader and the juky, and I jinxed myself because I was like, oh, ever since I learned how to use the needle threader, it just works for me every time now. No big deal. And they're like, oh, I don't know what they said. I'm just making that up. But I was like, oh, it works for me every time now. Well, guess what is no longer working? My needle threader. In fact, I bought 2 replacement parts from Juky Junkies. I knew it was going to do that. Doggone it. I bought 2 replacement parts from Juky Junkies. They came in today. I replaced it twice, and the needle threader is still not working, and I don't know why. So my plan is just to take it in for service. I don't, unfortunately, have a Juky dealer anywhere near me. The closest one is about 2 to 3 hours away. And I'm a little frustrated with that. The closest one is about 100 miles away, and I called them today, and they are backed up for about 3 weeks. So I'm just going to take it into the guy that I bought all my baby locks from. He is a baby lock dealer, and I'm going to have him service this. He serviced the Juky before. The problem is I feel kind of bad taking my Juky into the baby lock dealer, who is the guy that has supplied me with all of my baby lock machines. I know it's business and he'll still service it and he's still going to do a great job. But the other part, there's a part of me that's just kind of like, I love my Juky, but they have a baby lock that does the same thing. And I don't have a backup machine. If I got the baby lock Accomplish, it would be the baby lock version of this machine. And when something goes wrong, I can take it to the baby lock dealer, which is 15 minutes from me. So it's been a thought that's kind of been in the back of my head for a little while. Is it time to retire Bubba and make Bubba a backup machine and switch to the baby lock? Accomplish? Or do I just stick with the juky? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. What would you do? Let's hope it stitches again. Check the eye of the needle threader. Maybe, yes, I did that, Pamela. I even tried to bend it. So part of the problem with the needle, the wire in there, I can't see it. I can't see it that well. So we'll see. You haven't had, Pamela looks like she's trying to type something. Linda says, I love my baby lock. Quilting Compound says, get the baby lock. Virginia says, get the baby lock. Mary, I almost called you today and was like, I think I want to go get the baby lock. I've had this. You haven't had Bubba very long. No, I haven't. I have not. Had him for a couple of years. I love him. I really do. My problem is not the machine. My problem is not the juky. I really sincerely love the juky. My problem is I feel horrible taking the juky in to my old baby lock dealer to fix it because he knows I didn't buy that from him. And I'm giving him all, I'm like, something's broken. Can you fix it? And he does. Maybe I just stick with it and let him fix it. Joy says, I almost bought the Accomplish instead of my TL18. If you keep having issues with the juky, maybe it's time just to get something that it's close to. That's what I was thinking, Kate, right? Like, I love the juky. I really, really do. But I still have the metal dust problem. Now the needle threader is a problem. And I don't know. I don't know. It's not the machine. Maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever. Have you changed your needle? Yes. 3 different needles. Nancy, I've changed 3 different needles. Georgie says, my sister loves the juky. For her, there is nothing better, and I use a FAF. I've always been a baby lock. I was brother and baby lock. Always brother and baby. I started out in a brother, and it was always baby lock. But then I wanted a straight stitch only machine, and that's why I went to the juky. But baby lock does have the same exact machine. No, I'm not getting a Bernina, Mary. If I'm replacing the juky, it's going to be with a baby lock. And it's really because the baby lock dealer is the guy that I buy all my machines from. I get him all, well, that's not true. I got the long arm from Soya, but he's the one that services all my domestic machines. He will not service the handy quilter because he's not set up to service the handy quilter. So I do have to take that to the quilt shop in Fairfax when it needs service. Lori says, you haven't had the juky long enough to retire it. Yep, I know. That's the other problem. And then the other thing, here's the other thing that's in my head. I'm going to take it to Raymond. He's going to fix it. I could have Tiffany look at it when she's here too, and she's going to touch it, and we're going to do all the things, right? But the other part of that is my cleaning bill for this is going to be $150. It is due for its yearly service. So that bill is a whole lot cheaper than the bill for the new baby lock. So yeah, I don't know. It's a conundrum. Economically, from a financial standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. But from a frustration standpoint, it makes a whole lot of sense. Hello, Karen. How many hours of use on the juky? It may just be time for a rest. Maybe. I will say I usually sew every day for at least half an hour. And a lot of days, like on the weekends, a whole lot longer than that. But I don't know how many hours. It still sews really well. The needle threader is the only thing that's not working right now. Georgia says, my dealer is a Jomi. I have a Jomi, but I also use a Singer and an HQ. My dealer says she's happy to service all of my machines because when one wears out, I will see my new... Okay, see, that's the thing. I bought all of them from him, and then all of a sudden, I have a machine that I didn't buy from him. But I bought some very expensive machines from him. So I also think about, well, he probably doesn't even care because he's still getting my business to service the machine. And you're right, when Bubba is ready to be retired and go to the sewing machine table in the sky, I will be buying a baby lock. I will, and it's not because I don't like Juky, it's just because the dealer is close to me. Yay. Look at this one. Look at that. Beautiful. Looks kind of like a galaxy, right? Free Spirit says, are there any YouTube videos on how to fix the needle threader? There were. So there was one that said, a lot of times when your needle threader isn't working, there's a little teeny tiny wire in there that's supposed to go through the eye of the needle and grab the thread and pull it through the eye of the needle. So I was like, yes, I understand. He said that a lot of times when he services machines, the needle threader, the reason why it's not working is because that little wire thing that goes into the eye of the needle got bent, and it needs to be lined up with the eye of the needle. So I was like, okay. So I sat here for probably about an hour with the old one, just tweaking every so slightly that little wire hanger in there with just a pair of fine tip tweezers, and it just wasn't doing it. It just wasn't doing it. It just wasn't doing it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call a spade a spade. We're just going to be very careful with the machine. I threaded this by hand for like a year when I first had it. So we're just going to send it out. We're just going to put in an order with Juky Junkies. I'm going to get the 2 new replacement parts. I'll order a new one and then a backup because when it goes bad, I want to have it on hand. And we're just going to do it. So I put the order in last weekend. It came today, and both of the new ones don't work, even with the machine rethreaded, even with a fresh needle, even with the 2 new needle threaders. So I have no idea. Oh, Shelly says one of our local dealers charges more to service machines not purchased from them. I take mine elsewhere. I bought them before I moved here from my local dealer at the time. Yeah, Raymond doesn't do that. I go to Burgers in Manassas for all my machine needs. He doesn't do that. But he's also really good, and he's very honest. He's very honest, which is why I like taking my machines to him, because I trust him. My Bernina dealer is 300 miles away. Worth the drive. It's just what you have to do when you live out in the sticks. Melanie says, you don't like Bernina? No, it's not that. I'm not spending more than $1,000 on my next machine. And I want it. Berninas are not cheap. So no, I'm not buying a machine with all the bells and whistles. If Bernina has a straight stitch only machine and it's $1,000 or less, I would consider it. There's the next panda. I'll hold it up here. You guys see how pretty? Look, Mary, are you so excited to see the pandas coming together? I'm so excited to see them coming together. So here's my plan for Bubba right now. I am not going, as much as I say I want the accomplish, I'm not going to buy the machine anytime in the near future. I do have plans while I'm at QuiltCon to drop off the Juky for annual service. I'll have Tiffany take a look at the needle threader when she comes in just a couple of weeks. I already called her on the phone, actually, and I was like, this is what's happening. She's like, that's weird. I've never seen that happen. And everything that she told me to do, I had already tried. So I'm going to take it into Raymond, and we'll have him fix it while it's at QuiltCon, or while I'm at QuiltCon. Did you contact Soya? No, I have not. But to be completely honest, I don't know. I don't know that this is something that could be fixed over the phone, right? And I don't want to mail I don't want to mail this across the country to get serviced. If I'm going to have to send it in for service, I'm just going to take it to one of the juky dealers, or I'm going to take it to Raymond. Now, I'll tell you what, Tiankum probably would be like, oh, yeah, it's this, 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 and then he could probably fix it in like 5 minutes flat, because I think the man is a genius when it comes to sewing machines. I haven't reached out to him, but maybe I should, because Tiankum might have an answer. That's a good point. Polly says Bernina has a more affordable brand called a Bernat. Is that how you say it, or is it Marnae? Made with the same high quality standards, just more cost friendly. Oh, very cool. I just looked up the price of the baby lock. They also have an Accomplished 2 now for double the price. What? Why is it double the price? Does it do twice as much? Because that's the only reason I feel like it should be double the price. Listen, I'm gonna end up spending the $150 or whatever it is for Raymond to service the machine. It's gonna run like new when I get it, and I'm going to be singing Juki's praises again. Mom and I were in here working on some projects today, and I had the easy listening music, the easy listening station from Apple Music playing, and the song is stuck in my head. Is nobody. Wait, da 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 do 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 do. You're nobody called today. She hung up when I asked her name. Yeah, something like that. I can't sing, so I'm not going to even pretend, but you know the song I'm thinking of. It's stuck in my head. I got an earworm. To be honest, I don't know how to spell it. Autocorrects as Burnett. Okay. New quilter question, Tamara says. Do the straight stitch machines do a back stitch? Yes, ma'am, they do. But they only do a straight stitch. No zigzag, no nothing else. But you can do a back stitch. Tiffany's going to be here in just under 2 weeks. Can you guys, well, just over 2 weeks, I think is what it is. You guys believe that? QuiltCon's going to be here in like 3 weeks. Hello, GG Quilts. If you are in the Arizona, Vegas area over by Tiffany, don't forget she's got her quilt in a quilt show out in Havasu this weekend. I think the quilt show is today and tomorrow, so you can go see her quilt. And I think she's going to be there tomorrow too, so if you want to catch up with her. Donna says, I used to work where they sold Berninas and they would not give the Burnett's. We could not give the Burnett's away. No one wanted them. They may have changed them and improved them finally. 17 days, I know. Does Juki have a needle up and down switch? Try it. Yes, it does. And yes, I did. I tried all the things. That was actually one of the things that Tiffany was like, well, did you use the needle up and down button a couple times? Two more sleeps until Lori leaves for the Soya retreat. That looks like it's going to be a blast. Yep, Dale. No, Dale said that song's called, I can't see it where it went. It went away. Oh, Nobody by Sylvia. Nobody call. Ba-da-bum. Ba-da-ba-bum. Bum, 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 bum. Make sure that's stitched all the way. Yep, sure did. I'm excited for Tiffany to pester me too. Come on, Tiff, let's go. It's going to be great because Tiffany will be here for a week. Just under a week. She'll be here for a few days, and then we're going to go to QuiltCon. So she gets in on Monday. We leave for QuiltCon on Wednesday. Ian gets into QuiltCon on Wednesday, and then Mary gets into QuiltCon. Oh, that has a hole in it. It did not stitch right there. I knew that happened. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Oh, no. I see what happened. Didn't stitch all the way through. This side is all jacked up. Remember how I said at the beginning of the live stream that the edges weren't perfectly clean, and some of them are longer than others and some of them are shorter than others? That's what's happened here. This piece is, honestly, they're almost a 1/4 inch shy of what it should be. So, and it's just this one little section. It's just this one piece. So this, I'm just going to change my seam allowance. I'm going to realign things so that I can get all of that fabric grabbed, because otherwise I'll have a hole in the quilt. I don't want that. But it does mean that I'm going to, this block is not going to be as big. See, it's right there. And that's not even a piece that I pieced. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna move everything down. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm trying to rip the seam without ripping the fabric. I'm going to show you what's wrong in just a second. You'll be able to see on the overhead. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to fix it. So some of the pieces in this were a little wonky. If you see down here, do you see how this piece going across, this is longer than this piece? It is what it is. I used the same 1/4 inch all the way through, and this is off almost a whole 1/4 inch over here, and it's about 1/8 of an inch over here. Don't know how it happened, but the problem is all of this will be maintained in the stitch. So when I take my seam, this is still going to sit there, but this is so short that there's nothing for the seam to grab onto. And so the only way that I can really fix this is if I trim this edge, and I'm not going to worry about what this is going to do to the visual aspect of the quilt, because quite honestly, I would rather the quilt stay put together than have everything perfectly lined up, and I am not ripping the entire Panda block apart to fix it. So we're just going to get my ruler, if I can find it. Where did I put it? It was yellow. It says Quilter Select on it. Even has a little grippy thing. Maybe you've seen it. I don't know. Where is it? Oh, when did I put it back there? What I'm going to do is take this longer ruler and I'm going to line it up so that it's touching this edge and this edge, and all of this is extra. I'm just going to come in and cut that off. And now I'm going to stitch this back on. Now when I take that 1/4 of an inch, it'll have fabric to grab onto on the back, and I shouldn't have that hole pop through. It is far better to have a quilt that's going to stay assembled than to have your points line up. And there's actually not even any points with this one to line up. It's just that his little hand area is just going to be a little bit smaller than the other hands. What is wrong with the eyes? Nothing's wrong with the eyes. Joyce, nothing's wrong with the eyes. That's how the eyes are supposed to be. Hello, Laura Lynn. I see you over there. Wait, how much is the Brother PQ 1500? Is that like $500? Because I'll take the Brother. There we go. There's another panda. Another panda. All right. This next one, I love this fabric on this next one. So pretty. It's got blues and purples mixed together. That is one of the things that I think is kind of neat about this quilt. The blocks, all the sweaters that the pandas are wearing are mixtures of blues and purples. And that's kind of neat because the blues that are in here, that's right, Susan. That's what I said too. Susan says, and look at it this way, Becca, no two pandas are identical in life. And wait a minute, Shelly's saying the Brother is $739. Shoot, I don't want the baby lock anymore. I want the Brother. Yeah, so all the blues that are in here are like my color blue, and then it's mixed with purples. So it's almost like the pandas are a mix of Mary's favorite color and my favorite color, and I love that. Nice. KD says the Brother is $28,900. What? It's not $30,000. The Brother is not $30,000. That's got to be a typo. Hello, John. Jazz 2 can be picked up for around $800. Local dealer says they're unloading them for $500 and that it's been discontinued, but he could have been trying to sell me something more expensive. He said that that singer built the Jazz 2. Oh yeah, Teresa has the Brother. Yep, she loves it. She did. Yep, it's a workhorse. In fact, Mark, the quilting Marine, has it too. $6.99 on Amazon. Will the new machine fit your table? It will, but I would need to get a new surround if I bought one. And I'll be completely honest. But can you sew this fast? On the Brother? Yes. The Brother is the same number of stitches per minute, 1,500. Joy T is asking, is this Mary's quilt? Yes, it is. My goal is to have it all pieced before I leave for QuiltCon. So you guys are helping me knock this out. Yvette Hartso says, I love my Jazz too. I saw it online for $6.99 to $800. She may be talking about the Dream Machine. Ah, okay. Yeah, I could see that being more expensive. Oh, the PQ 1500 is being discontinued, so need to find one soon if you buy one. I didn't know that. Are they replacing it with another straight stitch 1500 stitch per minute machine? I actually don't have a backup machine. We talked about this with Kim from Cotton Cuts today. Technically, I guess I do, in that I have a baby lock. I have my mom's machine here. So if I needed to or wanted to, I could pull the baby lock out and I could work on that. But if mom decides to use that machine or take it with her, I do not have a backup machine. So if Bubba goes into the shop, I'm done. I'm not sewing. Unless I pull out the hand crank. Ah, they're replacing with the PQ 1600. Shelly says, I have the Juky TL 2000 QI. It was $750, but it does not have the speed control slider. Listen, that speed control slider is all the way at the rabbit. I control the speed with the pedal. Here is the next Panda block. Look how pretty that sweater is. So pretty. Question, is there some trick to cutting threads in the back of a flimsy to put on the long arm? Scissors, that's your trick. My trick, I don't do it. Unless it is honestly going to really show through the background, and then I'll just clip those couple of threads, but I don't go through and clip all the threads on the back. My mom, however, loves to do that. So if I really need, thank you, Karen. She says, your panda quilt is so adorable. I hope you have a wonderful time at QuiltCon. Thank you. My mom likes to clip threads like that. So if I have a quilt that is particularly messy, I will, I'll give it to her with a little pair of snips, and she'll sit in front of the TV and just clip all the excess threads. She gets so much joy out of doing that. Your backup machine, Susan, needs servicing. Yeah. Quilting Compound says, I spend hours, it seems, clipping threads off the back of my tops, unless it's dark fabric. I think that is the one drawback to using a white background. The threads show through, so you do have to snip at least some of them. Janet says, your mom needs to come visit me. You have some threads for her to clip? When I sew something, when I'm done with it, I have to give it to my mom because she insists that all the threads have to be clipped, and I'm horrible at clipping my threads on a finished project. So she takes it from me and clips all the threads. And one time I actually did clip the threads on my project, and she about fell out of her chair. She was like, what? Aw, Georgia says, I have a teenage granddaughter that has been quilting with me since she was 5. She loves trimming my flimsy threads. That's so cute. And those will be memories that she'll keep with her for the rest of her life, too. Siberian Wind says, I clip as I go, whether that's by block or by row. I don't quilt for others. Amen. I don't quilt for others either. I quilt for myself and charity. And I keep it very limited to the number of charity quilts I can do a year because I don't have enough time to do all the ones I would want to do. All right, you cool kids, bedtime for me. Have fun. Loving these pandas, Becca. Good night, Laura Lynn. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to check out Laura Lynn's channel tomorrow. She does a live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Siberian Wind says, I have been quiet tonight because I'm pressing a ton of tiny half square triangle units. Oh, Kate, I think I'm okay. Grandma's Quilts and Creation says they make a tool with a tiny hook on the end that if you push a thread, she said they make a tool with a tiny hook on the end that if you have a thread that shows through, you can push through the fabric and hook it and then pull it out. Yes, I've seen that tool. It looks like a teeny tiny crochet hook. You're welcome, Laura Lynn. Thank you for coming by for a little bit. I appreciate it. How many of these pandas do we think we're going to get done before the live stream's over tonight? Do we think we'll get them all pieced? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? How many pandas are left to assemble? I'll tell you in a moment. I think I'm about halfway. Christine says, I made the mistake of washing a quilt top before batting and backing. King size log cabin with 1.5-inch strips. Me and my mom didn't know better back then, and it still sits in the closet. Millions of strings. I can believe it. And I'm sure you're not the only one that's made that mistake out there. Karen says, I also wanted to mention how I love watching your channel, especially the multiple camera angles. Thank you, Karen. Are they Polynesian pandas? Free Spirit's asking. So cute. Maybe these are pandas that live in the tropic. They live on Maui. I spent a lot of my younger years in Manassas and Dumfries. Loves that area, Grandma's Quilt says. Mary's like, yes, that would be amazing if you finished all of them on tonight's live stream. I think we're going to, honestly. We're in the home stretch. I think we're at least halfway done, if not more. Do you know when we will receive our first PMQ clue? Joy T is asking that. They started shipping today, so they should be in the mail now, and you should get them anytime in the next couple of days, just depending on how far away from cotton cuts you are. Okay, I want to point this out too, just so you can see how I'm handling it. Do you see how this piece up here, I'll just slide it over a little bit. When I line it up here, it's perfect, but then down here, do you see how that's poking out almost a whole 1/4 inch? That's going to be a problem. I already know that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to see if it's a problem consistently. It is a problem consistently across this. I don't know whether the problem is this or that, the cutting, the piecing, I don't know what it is, but I know that if I trim that down to where these pieces come, then I won't have a hole in my quilt. And I'd rather have a quilt without a hole. So he'll just have small hands. I forgot the bottom of the last panda. I sure did. Thank you for letting me know, Brenda. I'll be fixing that next. I was like, what? I forgot. Oh my God. The panda didn't get a butt. He didn't get any pants. He didn't get any pants. Okay, I'll put this here. We'll give this guy some pants. How many pandas are in Mary's quilt? There will be 16. We do have 20 altogether that are going to be put together, but only 16 of them are going in the front of the quilt. The other 4, I don't know what we're going to do with. Making 20 altogether. Could you sew a smaller seam? You could, but some of this is off by so much that sewing that smaller seam could be a pain. Alternately, if it's off by a 1/4 inch, the other thing that you could do is find center so that you have 1/8 of an inch off on either side. And then if you sew it with your normal 1/4 inch, it'll just have 1/8 of an inch of fabric on one side. So he now has. The reason why I didn't worry too much about chopping this off is because all that's going to do is make this area smaller, and visually you're not going to see any difference because it doesn't cause points here to not line up. This is just his belly, so we're okay. Can't you just trim all the pandas down to the same size? Yes, I will be doing that. but I did not do it with these before. So we'll do it when they're all done. We'll see how they all come out. We'll get them squared up. I don't know if I'll square them all up to the same size. I was thinking what I might do is put brown, this background, around all of them and then square them up so that they would all be the same size. And then I could work them in. I think that's a lesson learned for next time I do an Elizabeth Hartman. Although I didn't have a problem with the unicorn one. I think, but I only did one block with that one. I think the lesson that I learned from this is next time I do an Elizabeth Hartman, I will be stopping to check my measurements and squaring every step of the way. Just because there's so many seams in here, right? And as you add seams, if there's something off, even just a hair or a thread, you're exaggerating it through all of them. Yes, to building up the blocks before trimming. Yes, I would be doing that too. Hello, Marie. Yes, Pamela says, if you have a cat and lay the quilt out, they may go to it. This is why my mom's quilt wasn't bigger then. I'm wondering if Cotton Cuts Block of the Month quilts are for beginners, Nancy is asking. Okay, so Nancy, I will tell you, as a new quilter, I leaned into Cotton Cuts and I finished a quilt. Yes, I would say as a beginner, you can absolutely do it. All you really need to know how to do is sew a straight line. And I would tell you to practice having a consistent seam allowance, preferably making sure that you know how to get a 1/4 inch. But if you can't get a 1/4 inch, as long as you're consistent, you'll be okay. In sweaters, not center. Wait, Linda. Yes, to building up the blocks before trimming. In sweater. Yep. I think we're saying the same thing. Lori is agreeing. She says definitely a beginner can do a Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt. You could also do wonky pandas in the center. Oh yeah, that's true. Wonky pandas in the center. That would be fun. Oh, wonky pandas and sweaters. Oh, I see. I caught your message now. That would be great. Yeah, we just won't call them pandas and sweaters. We'll call them wonky pandas and sweaters. So when I first started sewing, I had it in my head that I was going to do clothing and bags and all sorts of things. I wanted to make clothes for my daughter. And the problem that I ran into with that is if I'm off a 1/4 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch, the project or the product wouldn't fit her. It would be off. And that was a little bit frustrating. But in the world of quilting, if you're off a little bit, the worst thing that's going to happen, as long as you're grabbing your fabric and your seam allowance, is that your points might not match up. But at the end of the day, the quilt is still functional. Mama Mode, thank you for subscribing. Excellent nail polish, Robin says. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. It's been a while since I've been able to get my nails done, and I'm really excited that I can go get them done again. I was actually thinking about it today when I was watching Mike Seppa. Thank you for subscribing. I was thinking about it today when I was watching Tiffany do her mail opening on YouTube. I was checking out her nails, and I was like, ooh, Tiffany loves to get her nails done, just like I do. And she took a break from getting them done too, because she wanted to let hers grow out a little bit, and she's back to getting them done. So Tiffany, if you're still listening out there, I think one of the cool things that we could do when you come, like maybe a day or two before we go to QuiltCon, we could go get our nails done together. Wouldn't that be fun? And I can pick your nail polish and you can pick mine. What was the pouch that you said you were going to make besides the Hemingway bag? I am going to have a tutorial in about 2 weeks for, oh goodness. I'll tell you in a minute. I don't remember the name of it, but as soon as I see it, it's going to come falling back to me. It's a box-shaped pouch following a pattern from Center Street Quilts. That's it, but the name isn't on this page. I got to click the link to go to the other page. Holland, the Holland pouch. Here, if you're curious what it'll look like, because somebody is bound to ask, it's going to look like this. The tutorial that I'm going to have will walk us through making that bag. And it's going to be a couple of weeks out. Right before QuiltCon, I'll post that video. The video that I was supposed to post this past week is an updated sewing room tour, which it's like a 30-minute video. And I think I went through everything in my room. So I have it mostly edited, but unfortunately I came down with a bit of migraine this week and I was out of pocket, MIA, whatever the case, whatever you want to call it. I wasn't feeling great, so I didn't get a chance to finish editing it. My plan is to finish the edits tomorrow or Sunday and then just release it as soon as the edits are done. And then on Wednesday of next week, I'm going to do a January recap video that will show you all of my starts and finishes that I had in the month of January and some other fun stuff. But we can do a nail change. Oh, wait, hold on. Mine are overgrown. I was going to get them trimmed and painted before I come. Otherwise, they will be super claws by the time I get there. That's fine. You can just get a polish change. That'll be fun. We'll still go. I'll be due to get mine done by then. Actually, I might need to get mine done before you get here. So we'll just go get a polish change. Or we'll just go get manicures after. Whatever. Karen Little says, I love that pouch. I was looking for an idea for a pouch to contain my granddaughter's sewing notions. There you go. Danelle is saying she has to run for now. Just posting the Facebook group of what I was working on. Awesome. We'll get to that in a little bit. How many pandas do we have left to do? Let's count, shall we? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including this one. So not bad. Making good time. I love the fabric on this one. I need yardage of this fabric. Thank you, June. She says, I really like the pandas. Hello, Becky Spencer from Houston, Texas. I was looking through my photos, so no new ones to show. Being sick sucks. Oh, Susan, I feel you. I wasn't feeling great this week either, so I feel you. Hope you're feeling better, though. Mary says, yay, you have a friend that likes to do manicures. Do you guys know how many times I used to try to talk Mary into going to get nails done with me? She's like, no. That's fine. I'll just go with Tiffany. When I asked her name, and I wonder. Bonita says, your panda sweater fabrics are wonderful. Is it a kit? No. This was a fat quarter bundle from, I think, Robert Kaufman. It was a 20-piece batik bundle. I honestly don't remember the name of it, but if Teresa Louise is here, she might be able to tell us. I sent her one of these fat quarter bundles, so if she still has the label on that, maybe she can tell us what the line was, because I'm sure you'll want to know. The solids are just art gallery solids. Is Teresa still here? Molly Fox says, so glad to catch you even if I'm late. The pandas are adorable. Watching from Lexington, Kentucky. Well, hello, Kentucky. Laura Sup says, hello, everyone. I'm late, but I made it for a bit. Awesome. Welcome. Look at this one. Isn't that cute? Oh, look at the panda. Look at the panda. All right. 1 down, 7 more to go. She is making dinner. Okay, got it. I'll message her. I ordered her something and I'm hoping it'll come, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll just message her offline. We'll talk offline. What do you think about art gallery versus Kona? I've only had Kona before. I'm going to tell you art gallery is softer. It's more flexible. It's a higher thread count, I think. I don't understand how that works. When something's a higher thread count, it feels thinner. But it does feel, oh, it's unthreaded. It does feel a bit thinner. I think I like the texture of the art gallery better than I do the Kona cotton. But you get a better color variety out of Kona. You have to use a sharp needle with it. Oh, with the art gallery? I always use Microtex. I always use sharps. So 80-12 sharp. That's what I always use, unless I'm doing a ton of bulk, and then I'll step it up to a 90-14, but it's still a sharp. Art gallery is really soft. The threads can be finer and higher thread count should be softer and thinner. Okay, that's what I thought. It is softer, it is thinner. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't just making it up in my head. You're welcome. Thanks for the info. You are welcome. Wow. Wow. Oh well, we're dealing with it. This one's a 1/2 inch off, it feels like. There's no way, there's only one seam on this. There's no way my sewing caught that one off. I can see the seam. This one's off quite a bit. You can see over there. So I'm just going to line up all around here, but remember what I said is it's just going to make the pouch area, his belly area, just a little bit different. And I am going to add some background to all of these and square them all up to the same size when it's all done. I'll just have to get more of that background fabric. Mary, if you don't mind, could you remind me that I need to order some more of this? I think it's macchiato is the color. I don't know what color it is. She knows. That's why I'm asking her to remind me, because she can send me the link to the color. I can get probably need to get another yard or 2 of it. Probably 2, if I'm honest. Maybe even a little bit more, because I need to make the borders bigger. When you tried the threader, was the presser foot up? No, it was not. Honestly, I used the threader the same way I've been using it, and it's just not working anymore. It was working, and now all of a sudden it's not. Susan says, I made my brother a throw quilt with all art gallery fabric, such a soft quilt, and he loves it. I'm wondering if the seam problem is connected to the needle threader problem. Maybe. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe everything's broken today. I think part of it is I didn't stop and square everything up all along the way. I should have. And there might have been some cutting mishaps too, and it's just, you don't know. Like, I'm not worrying about it. I'm not going to stress about it. I just want you to see that I'm struggling with things too, and I'm not letting it bother me. I'm just cutting things off. And in the end, when this is all put together, you're not even going to notice. Sometimes when we're working on a project, we're so focused on that one seam or that one area that we're working on that any imperfections, any mistakes can be amplified at that moment in time. But once the quilt is put together, a lot of times you don't see that mistake. I mean, okay, so this is a little bit smaller, but the only reason why you know it's a little bit smaller is if you compared it to the other ones. The shape of the panda is still there. He still looks like a panda. He still looks like he's holding his hands in the middle. It's still good. See? I was late too. Signal is very sketchy in Arkansas. Oh, no problem. Threader on my Singer is so cranky. June says, oh, okay, never mind. Heather says, I play it safe. Get 5 yards. If you guys don't know, Heather also has a channel too, by the way. I don't know, Mary, could you maybe make a command for Heather so that she has one? I keep meaning to do that and I keep forgetting. Susan says, great advice. Thank y'all. That's right, Glennie. It will not be noticed on a galloping horse. And you know what else? I know exactly who this quilt is for, and she's not going to care. All she's going to see when she sees the quilt is that I made it for her. She's just going to remember me. So it doesn't matter. Like, I wished it could be perfect, but if I'm being honest, nothing I make is perfect. So this is very truly me. They're adorable. Mary made me order 5 yards of macchiato too. I feel like when we were cutting this out, every weekend that we were getting together, she was like, oh, we got to go back to the quilter studio because I need more art gallery fabric. She kept being like, okay, I think I've got enough. And she'd buy it and she'd buy a little bit, take it home. And she'd be like, oh, nope, I need more. Because the pattern didn't give her instructions for cutting out, didn't give her yardage requirements for making 20 pandas. So she had to figure it out on her own. My needle threader wasn't working. Then I changed the needle and it worked for me. I'm wondering if there was something wrong with the eye of the needle. So I changed the needle already like 2 times, but you know what? We'll do it again. Because sometimes, and this could be a lesson, sometimes when you change the needle that you change to could also be bad. So sometimes you don't always have a good needle just because you just changed it. So I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to try to change the needle and we'll just see if that fixes it. It is a new needle threader on the machine, by the way. Put my needle in the sharps container so it doesn't kill me later. So my needles, I keep my open pack inside my bobbin box here, along with my T-screw that allows me to unscrew and screw things back in. So everything's always there, ready for me. Moment of truth. Here we go, girls and guys. Now, part of me hopes it works and part of me hopes it doesn't. Let's see, is it going to work? That is the question. All the way down, tuck it under the metal. Nope. Nope, it doesn't. Nope. It's not even a little bit. This is now the 4th needle that I put on the machine. So I feel like I have successfully ruled out the needle. I feel like I have ruled out the needle threader because I replaced it with a couple of them. I feel like this may have gotten shifted just a hair, and that's really all you need. And I don't know how, but I wonder if that's what happened. Lift your presser foot. You don't lift your presser foot when you do this one. You can't. You shouldn't. Because then, I mean, I've never lifted the presser foot before when I did this, but maybe I did a little bit. Nope. Nope. Still didn't work. Nope, not even close. And just to make sure the presser foot is all the way down, and I try, my foot is away from the knee bar. See? It wraps it around the back. Every time, it wraps it around the back. Fortunately, I've gotten pretty good at threading this manually, so it's not a complete waste. Yes, Tabitha, I've tried them for multiple different packs. I mean, all of them are from the same batch of 100 needles, but there's 10 packs of 10 in there. And I've tried one needle from, at least 1 or 2 needles from each of the packs. Including one of the needles was the one that it was working with before and then just all of a sudden stopped. Once one of my dogs stepped on the foot pedal while I was using the threader and it broke. I believe the little hook for the thread bent. Maybe something is bent. Right, maybe it is, but this is a brand new threader, and so is the other one. Like, I've gone through 3 of these this week, trying them. I sewed this on upside down. Yep, Georgie, that's what I normally do. You have to release it quickly and barely hold the thread to get my sisters to work. That's how I normally do it too, and that doesn't work. I've been successfully navigating the threader for 1.5 years, 2 years, and now just all of a sudden it won't work. And it's not even like it's a little bit working. Like, so sometimes what might happen, what I've had happen in the past, is I may end up getting like just a hair of a thread in there, or it like barely started a loop into the eye of the needle, but that's not even happening. The thread is going clear around the back of the needle. It's almost like the wire isn't even engaging with the thread. On 3 different threader pieces. 3 different threaders, 4 different needles, multiple different rethreads. I don't know what else to try other than take it in and have somebody fix it. No worries, Terry, no worries. That's the fun part of a live stream. Not everybody's here for the entire thing, so I don't mind repeating myself. It's okay. And that wasn't meant to sound harsh. If it came out that way, it did not mean it that way. I appreciate the help that you guys are giving. Did you check with your Juky Junkie group? I actually called Juky Junkies, and they asked me to send them a video. So I was like, okay. And I did record it. I haven't emailed it yet, but I will. I could also text it to David. I have his phone number. But I don't want to go that route. I'd rather follow the same channel that everybody else has. So what stopped me, I took the video. I didn't email it because I thought, well, rather than trying to troubleshoot this with Juky Junkies over the phone where they can't be in front of the camera, which they totally would, by the way. Super helpful. If you have a Juky, definitely call them. They totally would. The problem is, I feel like I'm going to end up having to take it in somewhere for somebody to fix anyway, or somebody to look at. So I thought maybe I could just look up my local Juky dealers in the area and take the machine in. Well, the closest one is about 100 miles away in central Virginia. And I called them and I was like, well, okay, fine. It's a while away, but I could hit it on my way down from QuiltCon, drop it off, and then pick it up on the way back. It'd be there for about a week, and I could just make an appointment to do that. So I called them today, and I was like, do you guys service Jukies? And she said, yeah, because they're a dealer, and I just want to make sure. And she said, yes, we do. And I said, I need a machine I think my machine needs to be serviced. And they're like, okay, we're about 3 weeks out right now. And I was trying to calculate how that would work out in my head, and I couldn't figure it out. But I'm sure, like, if I called them and explained what the deal was, I'm so far away, could I drop it off and then come and then pick it up and just put myself on a list right now? I could pay a deposit, like I could do all those things. I'm sure they would work. Sandra, I don't know, because I can't see. My eyes can't see that well. She's saying, is your needle even with your needle threader? So when I put this all the way down, the bottom of the needle is not even with the needle threader. No. The needle is lower. But if you're asking, is the hook lining up with the hole, I can't tell. It's too small. My eyes are not that good. So anyway, I started going down the route of, well, maybe I need to take it in to be serviced. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to take it in to be serviced, maybe I'll just take it to Raymond. I trust him with all my other machines. And then I just kind of gave up. I figured I'd deal with it another day. At least the machine is sewing, because it could be a whole lot worse. Yeah, you may have hit it once with the wire, with the needle at one point. Yep. But I would have had to do that with 3 needle threaders. Use your phone to magnify the area. I did. Didn't work. It's too blurry. I blew it up to 6x, and it's still really hard to see. But that's actually how I recorded the video. I turned it on like 6x magnification. It was still hard to see. You know what I need? I need one of those things that a jeweler wears with the magnifying glass. You know what I mean? I need one of those. Make sure the needle is all the way up. It is. The only thing that it might not be, well, no, it's all the way up. It's all the way up. It's in the up position. The needle is inserted all the way up to the top. Wait, you've got to hold your tongue to the... The Siberian one said, you've got to hold your tongue to the left side against the back molar, have your hair pinned against the right side of your head, cross your toes, and be wearing all blue to get it to work. Laura says, I finally have a backup machine. I never thought I need a backup machine, but I don't want to be without one. I hear you. Tell you what, if Mom ever takes the baby lock home with her, I will be up a creek without a paddle because I will not have a backup. I'll be a one and done. You guys will see me sitting here with the hand crank. What are we working on tonight? Churning butter. Yep, right, Mama? She said, Mama Mode says, sure sounds to me like it needs a visit to the sewing machine doctor. That's what I figured. Is there anyone else in your family who could see the tiny details and tell you what they are seeing? No. My daughter's eyes are worse than mine, and so are my husband's. All three of us are in progressive lenses, if that tells you anything. Tiffany might be able to help, though. And even if not, like, I'm just going to drop it off on my quiltcon and let Raymond do it. Is there someone, I already answered that one. Oh, Pamela says it also has to be a full moon. Ah, so funny. You guys crack me up. So fun. Brother and Baby Lock are related from what I understand. Yes, they are. And you have to see a shooting star that night. You guys, Tiffany's going to come in here and she'll be like, oh, and then it'll be fixed. Then it will be fixed. Watch. Stand on your head to get it to work. Do you have a featherweight? If you do, that could be your backup. I do not. I do not have a featherweight. Lisa says, my husband repaired industrial jukis for 5 years. I'm going to ask him if he could help. Great. I'll give you my address because I can't see anything. I don't know that I could do whatever your husband tells me to do, but I sure appreciate, like, honestly, I just would love it if somebody's like, yep, the machine's broken, take it in for repair. That's fine. I'm okay with that answer. I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. Is it the right type of needle? Yes, it is. And it has to also have an eclipse for it to work. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, Terry. She said, I bet there's probably a way to do a height adjustment to align it. I bet Tiffany will be able to do it. I do. I think it's out of alignment. That's what I think is wrong. Colleen says, adorable pandas. I just tuned in and all I see is this giant panda block. It made me smile so much. Thank you. There's another one. Siberian Wind says, I used to repair machines. If you can't see it, it's always safe to take it to the pro. Perfect. I can't see it. I'll take it to the pro. Done. Twist my arm and call me Sally. You guys are so helpful. Stand on your head to get them to work. June, you crack me up. You guys are so helpful. I appreciate all the tips. Even if there's something that somebody else already said, it's just nice knowing that, like, if one quilter has a problem, 100 quilters are going to help you try to solve it. That's amazing. I am taking my juky in on Tuesday. It looks like it is out of alignment. Okay. I actually lied. I do have a featherweight. It's just not in my possession. So let me just clarify that. I have a featherweight that is on permanent loan to Mary. So I do have one, not here. My backup machine is a hand crank. No, it's my mom's machine. My backup machine is my mom's Baby Lock. You can't see it. Go buy the Baby Lock. Problem solved. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Terry, you kill me. Becca, did you cross the needle threading gods? I must have, Michelle. I must have. I'm like, no. the line from Gandalf with the staff. Thou shalt not pass. Thou shalt not thread. So funny. Oh no, Renee's juky broke. The dealer that I bought my Epic from was so excited to see the threader actually works on it. It didn't work on my Viking rose. Sometimes the needle is not up as far as it should be. Maybe that's it. We'll try one more time. But I think the bar that holds the needle needs to be adjusted, not the needle itself. Listen, I'm going to try everything. I'm going to unscrew this even further than what I normally do. And I'm going to shove it as high up as it'll go. Okay. At least you guys can see what I'm doing here. Cross your fingers, stand on your head, wish upon a star, all of the things. Nope. Nope. I think it's if there's something that needs to be adjusted, it's going to be this bad boy. Worth a shot, though. Worth a shot. I will stop and try that. And you know what the best part of this is? Sometime over the course of this week, I guarantee you, somebody out there is going to have an answer, and they're going to email me with all sorts of kind info that I could try. And I'm just telling you right now, if that is you, thank you. Because I apparently need help. So, quilters are wonderful people, and we're all trying to help each other with this. So I appreciate all of the suggestions. You're nobody called. He hung when I asked her name, and I wonder she do better. Ooh, ooh. Agreed, Tiffany. I don't have a juky, but it doesn't sound like alignment. She'd have way more issues. Oh, we don't think it's an alignment issue? Okay. Listen, I was taking the alignment thing because it made it easier for me. Fine. Listen, Tiffany has taken her machine entirely apart, cleaned it, and put it back together again, so I will let her handle it. Renee says, mine will not sew at all. The light's on, just will not run. Hey, that happened to this with me. Is your bobbin winder engaged? That's what was wrong with mine. The lights are on. It was on a live stream and everything. And I had just wound a bobbin because my bobbin was almost done. So I just wound one and I forgot before the live stream. And then I started the live stream. I'm sitting here and I go to sew and nothing's happening. Nothing. The lights are on. I turned it off, turned it back on. Nothing is happening. Tiankum actually was in the chat. I was like, Tiankum, it's not working. And then I was like, oh. I forgot I wound a bobbin. You inspired me to try and fix my thread cutter. I found a big ball of thread and fuzz behind the cutter blade. Thank you. Well, you're welcome, Michelle. I love digging into the machine to clean it and getting a golf ball bunch of lint. It's probably not good for your machine to have that much lint in there, but I like it when I get it all out. It's like cotton candy. It just keeps coming. I think I only have like 2 more pandas, maybe 3 to do. Robin says, I remember that. On the threader, is there a small piece of wire that you put thread around to thread it. Sometimes mine get bent where the wire goes through the needle to catch the thread and it would not work. Yes, there is a wire. It's on all 3 of the threaders that I used. If they're bent, could be it, but then all 3 of them are bent. Marnae's country farmhouse had a fire and lost everything, so prayers are needed, Teresa Lynch is saying. Okay, if you guys pray, please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Does she have a YouTube channel, or is that just her name? I just realized I could clean under my bobbin. It's never been cleaned, and I saw a ton of flannel and polar fleece. It was clunking up so bad that I found a needle tip impaled in the bobbin cavity. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Joan says, Tiffany, when Becca, when Tiffany gets off the plane and you say hello, she will say, take me to the juky. Yes, she will. Well, first I'll get a hug. She has a channel. Okay. Mary, will you look up that channel and drop the link so people can check her out? Awesome. Thank you. Sheila says, I just got through pulling a sheep out of my machine. LOL. Oh, Tiffany got it. Thank you, Tiff. I have a very small attachment for my vacuum that I use to clean out the bobbin case, Laura says. I have a little vacuum that I use to do that too. It's awesome, and it is not down there. I put it away. I was going to show it to you, but it's put away. I have 3 more to do. I can tell by those. 3 more after this one. Oh, wow. Tiffany says she watches her. She's very inspiring. She is a double amputee. No legs. Okay. That's what double amputee is, right? I know that because my sister's ex-husband is a double amputee. The double amputee, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it means you have both legs amputated. Not that you had 2 amputations on 1 leg. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's what I think I was told. So correct me if I'm wrong. Honestly, whether you had 1, 2, 3, 4 amputees, it doesn't matter. An amputee is still a pretty big thing to deal with. She has 1 arm and half a foot. Oh, wow. She sews bags even with just 1 arm. Wow. I need to check her out. Go you. I have found pinto beans and ball heads in a machine I was servicing. It was a 1/4 pound of beans. What? What are you using for borders? We're going to take the negative space. The pandas are going to float on the background. Unless Mary wants something different in the borders. Right now we are just going to add more of this brown to make the borders. Okay. A double amputee has 2 limbs amputated, depends on which appendage. So it could be, Renee says, Becca, it works. Thanks a bunch. Love this group. Was it really the bobbin winder engaged? Well, listen, Renee, you're not the only one that made that mistake, because I did, and I did it in front of everybody. Oh, gosh, I'm so happy it's working for you. Hey, could you fix my needle threader while you're at it? If anyone has Tilda fabric you are not using, she needs to restock her Tilda fabrics. Oh, Free Spirit, thank you. Thank you. I'm sure on her channel she has, I'm sure she has a mailing address. So maybe everybody could do that. Like drop a fat quarter or a yard of Tilda fabric in the mail to her over the next week. That's what we can do. In lieu of birthday gifts for me, send Marnae fabric. Tilda preferably. I'll send her some next couple of weeks too. I don't have any. I have to buy it. But I will definitely send some her way. Jenna says, I'm an above-the-knee amputee, lost it 23 years ago this May to medical malpractice. Oh, however, God keeps me going. She just posted a video with a P.O. box. Awesome. Yes to the bamboo borders. Nobody likes a herd of angry pandas. Bamboo borders, Marie's. Robin's saying we should do bamboo borders. That way the pandas always have food nearby and they don't get angry. Oh. Yeah, you guys check out the video that Tiffany's talking about. She apparently just posted a video that has a P.O. box on it. So check that out. If you've got some Tilda fabric, send it to her. If you don't, but you have something else that she could use, send her a little package. Oh, that's so sad. Joy said she lost 3 of her fur babies also. Oh, I can't replace the fur. I can't replace the fur baby, but we could celebrate my birthday by sending Marnae fabric, because I would want you to do that for me. If something happened to all of my fabric stash, I would want quilters to do that for me. So I'm a firm believer in you do unto others as you'd want them to do to you. So treat people with respect and kindness and love, because that's how you want to be treated. So let's just pay that love forward to her. Oh, there's a GoFundMe set up for her too. Awesome. Are you concerned about the batiks bleeding with washing? No, I'm not. No, not. Because it's not my quilt. Mary might be. My husband says the same things about an alignment issue, and if you don't have another machine to compare it with, you won't notice it. Best to take it to a dealer. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I will take it in. We'll see. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take it into Raymond. We're going to see if Raymond can fix it. If Raymond can't fix it, and I have to take it to a juky dealer, that's going to be the deciding point for me, because I cannot afford to make trips to juky dealers that are hundreds of miles away. But chances are he'll be able to fix it. One more. I have an extra. I'm on my last panda. You guys, I am on my last panda. And Mary, it's purple. My friend Kathy. Yeah, Kathy's Cute Creations. No, not Kathy. Kathy's Quilts and Crafts. There's 2 of them. They both start with KK. I can't say it. I can't say the alliteration. Sorry, I won't. We'll just call her Kathy. Both of them are named Kathy, though. Kathy has an amputation too. So, and I think she was trying to raise money for something too. So check out her channel. She probably has a GoFundMe over there as well. I think she does. I think I've seen it. I meant to donate and I don't think I did. I think I got sidetracked. Hubby stopped for 40 years to help people stranded. When I was 6 months preggo, I was stranded with a flat tire. A nice couple stopped and took me to a phone in 1985. Mama Mode said, it's the Tiffy Panda. It's purple. Oh, man. So, yeah, just had a Tilda flash sale. Shoot. I'll have to pay more attention to that then. Like their flash sales, that is. I feel like I saw that and then I didn't tune in because I was busy with work. For her prosthetic, yes. Okay. Go back through your pandas. I believe you missed a bottom. I probably did. Thank you for letting me know. We will double check because I've got an extra one here and I don't think I should. Sometimes I get caught up in the chat and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. So we either have one more seam or 2 to do, depending on whether I forgot one earlier. If there's a panda running around without pants, I'm sure they have some left on the website. No, probably. We're going to do two birds with one stone. I will buy Tilda fabric from Soya to send to Marnae. That's what I will do. And then they could just send it directly to her. It doesn't even have to come to me. How about that? I can just ship it to her. No, I don't like this one. This one is definitely a cut issue because there's no seams. But this one isn't going to remove anything from the pouch. So we're just going to cut that. And I think the other one is the same way. That's why I tossed it up there, because I thought this one would be better. Now that's nice and straight. You know, that's the other thing too. Like I know I said that was a cut issue, and I'm thinking about how that probably came out of my mouth, or maybe how somebody heard it. I am not, please know this, I am not complaining about Mary doing the cutting on this, because I wasn't going to do it. She did an amazing job, and cutting black fabric is extremely difficult because you can't see stuff. And quite honestly, if she got through cutting all that fabric and there was only one or two pieces that were a little shy or a little short, whatever. She knocked it out of the park, because I probably would have had a whole lot more. Where did you get the handle for your ruler? I got it from Quilter Select. Actually, I bought the ruler from Five Little Monkeys when they were at QuiltCon last year, and I got the little knob that came with it there too. Any place that sells Quilter Select rulers usually sell the handles. All right, let's look through the pandas and see if somebody's not wearing pants. Like Bethany Hamilton lost an arm to a shark bite. Resilient, yep, still professionally surfs, and has 3 or 4 children. Looking for a panda with no bottom. Oh, maybe that one really was extra, because these all look like they have bottoms. Bottom. Oh, nope. There it is. All the way back at the beginning. You guys are sharp, man. You picked up on that. The little knob that's on this ruler, by the way, you could totally replace this with just one of those pop caps that you buy for your phone. That would work out just as well. Somebody said they use a 3M hook. That would work too. Just something, because the ruler doesn't move without the fabric. So lifting it will help you be able to adjust it. Panda needs his diaper. Yup. Gotta put the diaper on the baby. So funny. This is my last seam. This is my last panda. You guys know what this is? This is the completion of all of my panda blocks. Now, all I have to do is square them up and put them into a quilt top. So Terry said, the making of this quilt between both you and Mary is a sweet memory the two of you will share forever. Absolutely. Oh. All right, let's go take a look at Facebook and see what you guys have been doing while I've been putting diapers on pandas. I notice you roll your cutter a bit prior to cutting. Why? Because it's the Martelli cutter. So let me zoom you in. This cutter right here has a guard on it that I keep closed. Even though I can set it like this and it doesn't really move anywhere, I don't like to leave the block exposed because all it'll take is just touching that blade to cut you or something else. And goodness, if this was knocked off of the table and that blade was exposed, I'd get out of the way, just run. So I always like to keep the guard closed. And the way the Martelli cutter is set up is you rest your finger here, you keep your wrist nice and straight, and just strike it, and it exposes the blade. And then when you're done, you flip it closed like this. So if you're watching me cut, I'll oftentimes do one of these numbers. Oh, you didn't even see because I was zoomed in too far. Zoom out. If you're watching me cut, a lot of times you'll see me do like this and then sail through. It's because I'm exposing the blade. Whew. Where's my mousey? Here it is. All done. Can we just take a sip of my lead-filled cup, please? Yes, Mary, the debt-free quilter. Somebody emailed me today, by the way, about this cup, this Stanley. I have a Stanley and a knockoff Stanley. Oh, that's not right. What's going on? Here we go. There we go. 3 quilt tops this week, but I don't use Facebook, so no pictures for you. Linda, you could email them to me. I can pull them up in email. This. Let's talk about this for a minute before we go over to Facebook. Somebody was so kind to send me an email. I hadn't heard of this. About the lead in the bottom of the cup. There's apparently lead in the bottom of this cup. I didn't hear about this. I didn't know. Now, I did do some research and I looked, and apparently not all, but a lot of the double wall vacuumed cups that are thermos like this have a little piece of lead inside, not like in between the inner and the outer part to seal the vacuum layer. I didn't know that. I think it's okay as long as, I'm very careful not to puncture this in any way. So hand wash only. I don't care if it says dishwasher safe. But yeah, I didn't know that there was lead used in that. I don't think I'm scared about it, but I do think it will change how I use the cup. Like maybe this is just a cup that stays home. I don't think I'm going to carry it around with me. But it also kind of opened my eyes that a lot of those other water bottles that are rugged that you carry around, and some of them I've like dropped on the ground and stuff. Now I'm thinking twice about them because if they have a lead seal on the bottom of them and I've dropped them because they're sports bottles and you take them out and they get roughed up a little bit, that makes me a little worried for those. For this one, it's going to sit on my desk. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be hand washed, so we might be okay. All right. Mary found some fabric for it. My Martelli cutter is Martelli cutter, is that what I need to look for? Will it hold pinking blades? I do not think it would hold a pinking blade because, yeah, I'm just going to tell you no. I could show you why, but we're almost out of time. You guys want to see what each other are working on, and the answer to your question is no, it won't hold a pinking blade. But this is awesome if you have carpal tunnel, if you have wrist issues. I have carpal tunnel. This is amazing. And I will tell you, my mom has one over there. The cutter that I used for years was just one of those Olfa cutters that has the handle that you can squeeze. And when you hold it, my arm was kind of like this. And so I would do some amount of cutting and my arm and wrist would get fatigued. And then when I switched to this, my arm doesn't get fatigued. I can cut all day long. Shortly after I made the switch, within a few months, I had decided to buy some bolts of fabric and sell them. And so I bought several bolts of fabric and I was cutting them all down to fat quarters. And I stood at my table and cut about 5 or 6 bolts of fabric. and my arm never got tired. My feet and back got tired before my arm did. This thing's a game changer. Also, because of the way it's laid out, I can cut while sitting down, which is really important for me because I don't want to have to get up and walk away from the camera to do my cutting while I'm on a live stream or recording a video. So this tool allows me to do most things from right here with my cutting. Absolutely amazing. Soya has a new, see, I'm so out of the loop. Soya has a new cutter. Now I want to know. Now I want to know. Now is it ergonomic like the Martelli? Come on. I want to know about their new cutter now. I know they were starting a whole new Notions line, which I think is going to be awesome. Because I bet T Income's brain is behind a lot of that. Did they show the cut? It's not on their website. I don't see it in their shop. Was it only shown on a live stream? Those are the Martelli ones. Yep, those are all the Martelli ones. So if it's on there, they must not have it ready yet. They might have just talked about it. Thanks, Joy. All right, I'm just going to go to the Facebook group and we're going to see what you guys have been working on. And then I'll go stalk some of the replays to see if I can figure it out. But if you know what date they showed the cutter, tell me. Save me from looking for it in all of the videos. Help me find it. So and tell. Here we go. All right, so we're going to refresh the screen. Thank you, Robin. We're going to go down to new. Or even better, if you have a picture of it, post it in the Facebook group, and then I can show everybody what it looks like. Michelle says, 1 star block done, 14 to go, Stitch in Heaven New Year's Day mystery quilt. I love that star block. I know, I have to go to Soya too, right? But I didn't see the cutter on their website. Oh, it's the LDH Midnight. I did see that. But I thought LDH was a brand because I've seen other people sell LDH. So did they design something with LDH? That was on their website, actually. Under Notions, cutting tools and supplies. I'm going to say brand LDH scissors. Oh, wow. That's nice. Okay, I can't, hold on. I can't go, oh, wow, without showing you guys what I'm talking about. This is sharp. It looks almost like a Quilter Select ruler. Check that out. That's sharp. I like it. It's designed with a unique blade guard that covers all of the blade when it's not in use. It's the first all-black rotary cutter on the market. That's nice. I don't know if I would use it because I like my Martelli, but that's slick. That's sharp. All right, let's see what you guys have been working on. Oh, no, they are just saying it is great. I am loving it. Ah, sorry. I thought you meant they design. I know they were starting a Notions line. Not for $30. I just ordered a new cutting table and it says, will be using an adjustable height drafting table between the height and the angle. It will be so much easier on my bad shoulder. Absolutely. Free Spirit says American pandas wear diapers. British pandas wear nappies. What do Polynesian pandas wear? I don't know. Maybe nothing. All right, going over to Facebook, Allie says that she just finished the Sew Together bag by So Demented while watching the live stream, Quiltology fabric. Erica Arndt has a tutorial that she popped out on this, and I've been wanting to do one of these for years. I actually have one that I got, somebody made it for me using beautiful little batik fabric and a swap a few years ago. I love it. I want to make another one, but I also look at that one and I love it. And so I decide, well, I already have one, so I don't need to make another one. see. Somebody else? Okay, I already got you. Ooh. We talked about that. Yvette says, I finished the floral panel that Misty did last week on triple play, and now I'm straight line quilting on my husband's quilt. It has taken me almost a year to get this far. That's a really good idea. So Yvette, you just inspired me to do something. Mom has been, first of all, oh my goodness, on all those half square triangles. Let's just say that. But Mom has been really having a hard time finding something that she wants to work on. And I'm giving her some projects, she's starting them, but she's really kind of just like half into it. But I gave her a couple of orphan blocks and made a quilt sandwich, and she just straight line quilted it. She's like, I want to do more of this. And I was like, okay, but I don't know what to do for you with that, because all of the quilts that I have are way, way too big for me to baste. I could baste them on the long arm and pull them off and you could quilt them, but I don't know if you want to wrestle all that under there. But I do have some panels. And I bet I could starch and square up one of those panels and just put a simple border around it, and I could baste that really easily, and that would let her do some straight line quilting, and it could just be a nice little couch throw. Huh. Thank you, Pamela. She says, Soya has a new line of notions. They have sold binder spools and needle catcher bowls, and they are collapsible. Cool. See? Straight line quilting, that's what I could do. I could help her with that. We'll see if we do that this weekend. Juanita says, I've been working on my mini wall quilt for my cubicle at work. Let's see what it looks like. I love that. Is that Lori Holt fabric? It looks like it's Lori Holt. What a neat idea to do a wall quilt for your panels will be perfect for, right? We might be buying some panels. I've only got a couple. Katie says she finished assembling her chair for the new sewing space and a few other things while watching. Getting there slowly but surely. I love that chair. It looks very comfortable. Holly says, I've got the month of January all done for my temperature quilt. I had it all done, and I started to dislike that green with the yellow dot fabric. So I remade 8 blocks and fixed the order. I had a set of them in the wrong place. Now I have to sew them together into the month's block, and yes, my background fabric is going to be yellow. I love that it's just kind of wonky like that. Like there's a lot of movement. I like that. That's neat. Melinda says, posting some of my Art East Quilting Company Mad Quilt Party blocks. I'm behind. Pay no attention to the random little star block. It belongs to another project. Very nice. Claudia says, okay, I think I'm ready for bed. Claudia says she finished the top today. Now to go pick out backing and binding. Do I go with a solid blue or a wild and crazy blue backing or something really different? I love this. I think you do yellow. Maize and gold. Maize and blue, baby. Maize and blue. Michelle Boo says, Friday night date with my long arm. I need to get back to the long arm. I finished a quilt this month, though. I quilted a quilt, and I've got another one loaded that I need to start. Janelle says, not done yet, but getting really close. This is a quilted jacket for a friend. Carolyn Jane Wilson says, I am not finished with it yet, but see, she also likes doing things like this. She likes putting just borders around blocks, so I bet you she'd like doing a log cabin. Laura says, when I started, I bought some cheater/convenience yardage and used that to practice straight line quilting. That's a great idea. So Blessed by Jessica says she finished another project Linus top, and she can't wait to quilt it. And these are the ones that she's posted pictures of tonight. That's great. Oh, those colors. Lorraine says, this is the table runner I made in Becca's Zoom class. I originally had double colors all on one side. I didn't really like it, so I took it apart and redid it. Much better. Now to trim it and quilt it. Oh my goodness, Lorraine, that's gorgeous. Oh, that is so rude to sit here and yawn in front of you. I'm sorry. Karen says, this was the biggest challenge in my short quilting journey. I finished the top today. It's the Faux Feathered Star by Fat Quarter Shop. It was originally 40.5 by 40.5, but I needed it bigger, so now it's 62 by 62. I want to do that. I like that. Oh, this is the tool that Anne Marie uses for threading her juky. Look at her. Wait a minute. Is that just like a... She's got it. Say... Oh... See? I need that. I don't know if she's still working, but... Oh, look. She's apparently got a lot of them. Thank you. Thank you for that. Valerie says, I have been working on the long time gone quilt. These are the blocks that I made in the last 2 weeks. And you guys, I'm not refreshing the page because I have been yawning nonstop over here. I am obviously tired and I am ready to go to bed. So, just in time, because Tiffany said, it's time for my bed. It's time for bed, my friend. You're making me yawn. Most contagious thing ever. It even passes through the TV. Ugh. You know, I saw, I think, my eyes are watering. I was yawning so much. They come in a pack of 6 or 10. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a picture of it in the post on Amazon. Thank you. I'll take a look. Oh, I think I feel like I saw somebody say before that, like, because they always say handmade, they always say yawning is contagious, but I feel like I read a study or heard a study where they said it's contagious if you feel attached to the person that's yawning. You let me know. All right, let's see. Donna's live. I'm going to grab her link. I'm going to spam it in the chat so you don't have to stay home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because I'm going to bed. So if you want to continue the party, there is Donna's link. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful week and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.